And we continue learning Mesilas Yesharim Yomi with this absolutely incredible Hachzik program. We're holding on page 280 of the Artscroll Mesilas Yesharim as we continue discussing the necessity for precious. How precious Kaddish Artscroll b'muterlach is not just a nice thing. The Ramchal is middle of teaching to us and explaining to us the critical importance. So we pick it up on the bottom of page 280, in which the Mesilas Yesharim says, Klal Hadavar. The matter, the summary is, Kivin Shekol Inyani Olam Inu El Sekanas Atzumas. All in Yani Olam. Everything in this world are extreme dangers to our spirituality, and we remind ourselves that the Ramchal wrote this so many years ago, how much more so in the unfortunate, sometimes difficult world that we live in. How is there anything but praise? So praiseworthy if someone wants to stay away from the physicalities, from the pitfalls of this world and to distance from them. This is appropriate, good forms of precious. Don't take anything from this world with any use of it. Ella mashu mukhrach boy. We utilize this world for what we need of it. But the necessity of what you require. So the basic simple approach, which is a lofty goal, a lifelong endeavor, that we utilize this world for what? What we need. Basic necessities and not more than that. Continues the Ramchal. This is what Rebbe, in the Maimer that we spoke about, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi Shlo, he held up his 10 fingers. And he said, Shelo, even this little finger. And Yosef Nasi Yisrael, if this was the way, the abstinence by the Nasi Yisrael, whose table had to be incredible. He had to be laden with all delicacies. Why? Because he brought in different princely peoples, different kings and people of the like. As we know that Rivka said when she was talking about Yaakov and Esav, Shnei Goyim b'midnech, their nations, she says, and explains the Gemara, that Rabbi Vantininos. This, what does it mean? Shnei Goyim b'midnech. This is Rabbi Vantininos, the incredible, high, lofty level, and even the physicalities that Rabbi had to be busy with, and the fact that he interacted with such high profile people like Antoninus, who in that matter had everything on their table. They even had, back in those days, to have vegetables in the summer and the winter. That was of the most necessary. Meaning, and let's just follow through, and still Rebbe was the one that comes along and teaches us that he wasn't ended from this world. Similarly, the king of Yehuda, everything else that we mentioned, we see that you have to separate yourself from anything which is a worldly pleasure in order so you don't fall into the sakana. But now says the Ramchal, if you're going to ask, as he always does, he lays down the rules, he gives us the general rule, he proves it, and then he asks the questions that might be niggling in the back of one's brain. And if you're going to ask and say, if it's true that precious is so necessary, so why wasn't this part of the basic rules? Why did Chazal require this? Why is this a higher level than the basics? Like they made all other siyagos. Like the Chazal made all other gezeiros, rabbanans, and safeguards. What's the simple answer? Says the Ramchal. Only if a gezerah was made, it must be something that the majority of Klal Yisrael could stand by. Ve'ein, the startling words. Ve'ein roi v'atziva yichon liyois chasidim. Majority can be chasidim. But of course, those who are sitting with us and learning Mesilas Yesharim, those who made it 75 days in, still learning strong each and every day, a few words of Musar. It's enough for the average person to be a tzaddik. Achasridim asher ba'am. But for the minority, hachafetzim lischas lekarvasin yisbarach, they want to get close to Hashem, l'zakus b'schus l'choshar ha'amen anitzla ba'am, and thereby to give merit to everyone else who can't. So they're the tzaddikim, and the people who are the prish, and people who are the chasidim. They enter the loftier level that everyone else clings to, that everyone else lives off of them. They fulfill the mission of Chasidim. The other people cannot do. This is the preachers that we're discussing. And finally, he continues the Ramchal, because this is what Hashem chose. Not everyone could be on the same lofty level. There are different levels. Some people aren't zeicha to reach such high levels. Those who are not such precious, not so high, there will always be some people that have to be at the bottom of the rungs. They fully prepare themselves and due to other people that are prepared, and now teaches Ramchal, it all filters down, that even if those at the bottom can't reach it there, but when someone on top attains the precious, it filters down to everyone else. As the Chacham have taught us, that when we put it all together, the four minim representing all the different sects, all the different people of Klai, so when you put it Aguda Achas, then one is mechaper on the other. So the parish, the chassid who's on the top, helps everyone else. With this we conclude. We found that Eliyahu Hanavi told Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi the story of Ula bar Koshav. When Eliyahu rebuked Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, and he said, is it not a Mishnah? Eliyahu said, no, it's Chasidim, it's something at a loftier level that not everyone can get to. But those who are Zeicha, those who are able, those who are still trying, reach the loftier, higher levels, and with that, they make everyone else some level be Zeicha as well.